33-15. Patriots beat down the New York Giants. The big headlines: Drake May, MVP candidate, continues to shine. The Patriots continue to shine. And they do it in a way that makes it hard for those that look at the game a certain way from being critical of what Vrabel is doing with the rushing attack. And we'll go over that in a minute. There's two ways to look at this thing. I get some of you that are more football, non-fantasy football related or geared toward this topic are going to see it differently, but I'm going to explain why it still doesn't make sense. But it doesn't matter if the team's winning. I get it. I get if you're a football fan. The Fantasy Football Show, Monday Night Football Reaction Show, on to Week 14, Drake London Could Play Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So, we'll talk about Hendy in a second. We'll talk about how Vrabel I know everyone wants to say he hates him, and in some ways it does very much feel unexplainable. It really is frustrating. And I get where some of the pro-Patriots are winning, like Coach of the Year, MVP candidate Drake May. I get where you're coming from. And you're not wrong to be excited about the output you're getting from the entire team. But this goes back to, I guess I'm getting into it now before we break down the game. This goes back to the Bijan Robinson and Algier situation. Just because Algier punches a touchdown in on 2 or 3 tries doesn't mean Bijan doesn't punch it in on 1 or 2 tries. Or the one times where Algier doesn't get it and then they end up kicking a field goal that Bijan wouldn't have scored the touchdown. Just because a race car can win a race at 198 because the other race car drivers, they drive 195, doesn't mean the race car you have that goes 205 shouldn't be on the track. And that's essentially what I think a lot of just football people are not understanding about the fantasy football person that's looking at output, looking at production, and what we're trying to tell the people that don't, I think, understand what we're saying, because they think, oh, this is just a fantasy football mind. This is a one-dimensional person. I know more about ball than somebody that comes at me thinking that they know more about ball because they watch ball differently. They don't play fantasy football, and they say, oh, he's just a fantasy guy. He doesn't know. He's just a fantasy guy. I'm looking at this from all damn angles possible. You can't know ball and know fantasy football to this degree, doing what I do day in, day out, injuries, the news, everything that you have to cover when you do something like I do. I don't do a daily show. I do a multi-show per day daily show. We do 2 or 3 shows per day. I get sick and tired of hearing people say things like, Smitty, they don't care about your fantasy football. It doesn't matter what is going on with my fantasy football. I'm trying to educate somebody that's going to walk in here and say, it's working. You got to do it because it's working. It could work better. Just because you're winning doesn't mean you're not messing up one aspect of what you're doing. So let's first off by saying Vrabel's winning. Vrabel's winning. The running game's working. And therefore, you can't have too many complaints from a top level, overview. But the thing about it is they could be doing so much more, and they drafted Henderson to be that guy. They drafted Henderson to be the workhorse back. They drafted Henderson so high with the draft capital that it's saying we will commit to you. Otherwise, why not go protect Drake May? Why not draft another offensive lineman in the 2nd round and protect Drake May if you don't have plans to use Hendy the way that we believe at this juncture, with all that he knows now, all that he's learned, and he looks fantastic out there. He's not missing blocks. He's not misinterpreting the flow of the game where he needs to go. There was a lot of complex pre-snap motion where Hendy knew exactly what to do, when to do it. He picked up some good blocks. Hendy looked fantastic out there. And Stevenson, nice, big, wide open reception, 30-yard catch. Henderson would have taken that into the end zone. That's my point. It doesn't matter that Stevenson and the team's winning and things are functioning. You're not understanding what I'm saying if that's your argument. And your argument, you're going to get dunked on. Because what I'm going to say is, Everything Hendy does, he does better. And at some point, you have to hand off the keys to the entire lineup. Not saying Stevenson shouldn't be out there, but you watch Henderson run, and he goes out there and he rips off big runs. We've seen it. 59-yard touchdown, or 69-yard touchdown, 50-plus yard touchdown, hat trick Hendy, house call Hendy, 11 totes, 67 yards, 6.1 a rip. Stevenson 12 for 43.3. Now, the nice thing here is that it is 11 and it's 12. It's pretty close, but we want 15 to 18 carries. I don't care if Stevenson gets 8, 9, 10. I want Hendy to get 15-plus carries per game. Henderson catching what should have been more because he has 3 for 19. Should have had at least this Ramondre Stevenson 30-yard reception, which would have turned into a touchdown. Hendy almost ripped off another run. Almost went house call at least twice in this game. Held my breath. I don't know if you do that too, but when Hendy's carrying the ball, when Achan's carrying the ball, when Gibbs is carrying the ball, Achan, Gibbs, and Hendy, I'm holding my breath the entire time they're running. I don't know why I do it. I pucker up. you pucker up and you hold. You hold. 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 And you're hoping for a score. And that's just the way it is. It's called the Hendy hold. Pucker up, hold. Hendy hold. Do it live. Do it live. It's frustrating to watch. I understand what people are going to say, and I get it. And I look, you want me to dunk on you? I just told you why not to question me on it. But I'll go ahead and do so if you're going to, but Stevenson's looking, it's like when someone comes in and goes, but Algier scored, so it worked pretty well. Why not continue to hand it to Algier, Smitty? When Algier's able to score, you might as well give Algier the ball. No, how about you give the man that's cited by Saquon Barkley, who's a cocky, arrogant guy, in all due respect, he deserves to be. But he says, I'm not the best footwork or best running back in the league. You'd think Saquon might say that. He said, this man is. This guy's got footwork and ability to cut and maneuver, jump cut like nobody in the league. There's no business, zero business, keeping this man off the field whenever you're even sniffing the goal line. I don't care if you're at the 12-yard line, the 8-yard line, the 5-yard line. It's incompetence to put in Algier over Bijan. I don't care if Algier scores. That doesn't prove you right. It proves you to be one-dimensional. It proves that you have a brain the size of this big. When you think Algier, because he scored, he should just continue to get the ball. This guy's getting in the end zone at a frequency that is this much higher than Tyler Algier. And the same thing translates to Hendy and Stevenson. Not to mention, if you want to sit here and complain about Stevenson, nobody looks good. He has a higher likelihood to fumble the football than any starting running back in the National Football League. So if you don't want to lose your game, you want to put the ball in the hands of the best pass-catching back to come out of college in the last 5 years, and you can rip on whatever you want about week 1, week 2, week 3, when he was missing blocks, he wasn't doing as good in pass pro. This guy is the best pass pro running back to come out of college in at least the last 5 years. If you want the guy Stevenson to fumble the football when the game's on the line, go ahead, Vrabel. That's one other aspect of why you should move on and commit to the commitment you've already put in motion. On draft day, you set in motion a path for your rushing attack to go in the direction of Hendy. And if you don't want to commit to it, then you shouldn't have taken him. On draft day, you should have taken another offensive lineman to protect Drake May. That's it. There's no other argument. You can say whatever you want. Your argument goes in this year and doesn't even penetrate, falls right out, and then I'll dunk on you.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Do I want him to have 8 carries? Sure. Do I want Algier to have 5, 6, 7, 8 carries? Sure. Absolutely. Keep our boys healthy. But there's no argument here. There's nothing to argue. You're just going to sound silly and sound ill-equipped for the argument at hand because you're going to say something that we've already addressed and told you you're arguing the wrong argument. You're not even in the same conversation. And as we look at this right here, let's take a look at the box score. We'll box score Bobby the hell out of this game. Jackson Dart, doesn't have weapons, still looks pretty good the way he functions in this offense without weapons. And I'm not saying Slayton or Wandell aren't good players, but those are complementary players. Those are Darnell Mooney's. Those are, and honestly, this is where we say something about Drake May. Drake May doesn't have anybody but Darnell Mooney's as well. But he's so good and advanced. And to the credit of Vrabel, outside of the decision-making inside the running back room, he's doing an excellent job. That's what makes Vrabel, in my opinion, my most hated winning and successful and good head coach that I've ever been around. This is a coach that I know successful. He's being successful. He's doing a great job. I would love to have him coach the Arizona Cardinals and turn that franchise around, but I still hate him. I just can't stand on the one behavior he can't break, which is to give the ball to the fumbler. You're going to give the ball to the fumbler over and over again. Just wait until it costs him. What if it's a close game and Stevenson fumbles the game away? I hate to say this to my Patriot fans and people out there, but I'm actually hoping for it. I'm hoping for it because I believe Vrabel needs to learn a lesson about Trey Henderson, the guy he invested in. I actually hope the game's on the line in the playoffs, in the second playoff game, and I hope Stevenson fumbles the game away and we all get to laugh at Vrabel, even though he's being very successful at everything else he's doing. This is a big problem. And yet he doesn't appear to know that it's a problem. Where are we at? And I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm hoping for a fumble. Trey Henderson, 11 carries, 67 yards. It was a good day on the ground with the amount of volume he got. 12 carries for Stevenson, 40 yards, 3.3 a carry. Some good runs, no doubt. Not going to sit here and lie, but there was a lot of bad runs too. Runs that Hendy would have clearly shifted out of, knifed out of defenders' ways and slipped through 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 extra yards each time he got the football. Ramondre caught 3 for 40. Again, there was that 36-yard catch. That was the only thing that made this line beautiful here for him. Hunter Henry, 4 for 73. That was a pretty good day at the office. I think our boy BBQ had Hunter Henry in his lineup. I think he probably did pretty good for you. Booty looked solid with the 35 yards and a touch. Definitely probably the best receiver for Drake May right now overall. Diggs was non-existent, kind of doing what Kamara and Mixon and all these guys do as they're older and they get through a longer season and they start kind of, I don't know, just slowing down. Slayton, 2 catches, 41 yards and a touchdown. I think he had a 2-point conversion as well, didn't he? Singletary, 34 yards receiving, but Singletary had that 68 yards and a touchdown, and Tracy got injured. So Singletary now is going to climb up the board. We'll know more on Singletary's injury as the week moves along. But let's go to the board right now. This is the waiver board, ladies and gentlemen, and we got to put Singletary on this board. He's going to become a pretty hot commodity. I would say Singletary somewhere probably somewhere in like this range, right where Chuba, but below Manungai. I think Singletary probably goes right there. Manungai is still the number 1 ad of the week by far and away. Did I say Singletary got hurt? I meant Tracy got hurt. I'm sorry. Tracy got hurt, so Singletary, clearly by me writing Singletary on the board, you know what I mean. But thank you for correcting me. Singletary goes right there. Tracy got injured. So we'll know more about Tracy's injury as the week moves along. I apologize. So Henderson, Hunter Henry had a day. Slayton did pretty solid. Singletary did pretty solid. We'll find out again on Tracy's injury. But that is really the game in a recap really quickly. There's not a lot to go on. Drake May, obviously, 282 and 2 touchdowns. Looked fantastic. Could have had more fantasy football production, I'm sure, for those of you that have Drake May in your lineup. But he's just so efficient. He's such a good quarterback. And imagine what happens if he gets receivers. I'm a little worried about what happens when he gets receivers. Will it be like maybe it doesn't work the same way? I don't know. It just feels like that's the way things happen. You're like, oh, he's going to be great now. And then all of a sudden, it's like, what are we doing here? Man, it's so frustrating to watch House Call Handy get completely misused. But it is also nice watching him run. I mean, look, 10 carries, 11 carries, 10 carries, 60 yards, 6.1 a pop, 11 carries, 67 yards, leading rusher on the day with just the 11 totes. I mean, he's just such a smooth operator. 26-yard run, which was awesome to see. Almost had another reception, which would have been very, very nice to have Henderson have 4 receptions, tying both Booty and Hunter Henry for the leading reception getter. And that's another thing of note is when you look at the receiving numbers here and the rushing, this game was very slow. It was a very, very clock-burning game where the clock was just burned, and before you know it, the game was over. It was very fast. It felt very fast. The half came very quick. The second half was speedy. And you look at where if Henderson had caught that extra football that he dropped, well, it wasn't his fault, but it was a tough throw. It was in contested situation near the sideline, and it got bobbled. He dropped it. Had he caught that pass, he would have been tied for the leading reception getter of the night, which tells you that there wasn't a lot of volume to go around. Henderson 11 carries, Ramondre 12. And then over on this side of the fence, it was 2 receptions, 3 receptions. Wandell 7 for 34. He really is just a reception cheat code, and people call him a PPR scam. Theo Johnson 29. I mean, it was just a very bland day. Very, very bland day at the office. Not a lot of electric scoring. And that kind of also aided to the fact that none of these guys really exploded in this game. Even Drake May. It was just kind of a, let's burn this clock out. You can see right here, Patriots 17, 13, 0, and 3. Only 13 points were scored. Only 11 points. 11 points were scored in this third and fourth quarter. 11 points were scored in the third and fourth quarter. 0 points was scored in the third quarter. 8 by the Giants in the fourth, 3 by New England. So New England in this second half scored 3 points. So that was Hendy's half to do something, because the first half was defensive touchdown return, special teams. And so you didn't have a lot of wiggle room for Hendy to start off slow if they're not going to even score points in the second half. So the game script and flow was not very conducive to Hendy having the kind of game he was very capable of having. And he still almost had it. He almost broke 2 runs, one near the end where he would have had a house call, and it would have been a 90 total yard, 100 total yard game had he just had a few of these things go just the right way, and then everybody be celebrating his name. Look what he did on 12 carries. But instead, we're looking at what we're looking at, which is not the end of the world. We're talking about, let me pull up one of my random leagues here and see what Hendy scored in this particular PPR format. This might be half PPR. I forget if this is half PPR. Hold on. Let me see. Hendy scored me in this particular league 11.6 points. Not my favorite number to look at, but damn, better to be double digits than not be double digits. So at the end of the day, Hendy still helped me survive. I had Hendy and I had Hunter Henry both getting me 11 points. That's 22 points from both those guys. Not that bad of a day at the office. Let's hit these super chats. We'll answer phone calls, open up the phone lines. Rockout says he's 1 11-2 team, 2 10-3 teams, and 1 9-3 team, and 3 8-5 teams. Rockout's having himself a nice little season there. This one from Chris. Chris, appreciate your super chat. The games Hendy goes off, May stats don't look good, and that golden boy. So when May throws to a guy covered by 2 to 3 guys and Hendy is wide open on the other side, there's your sign. I don't think it. I get what you're trying to say, but look, bottom line is this probably will get better versus getting worse. I do believe that. I think Ramondre, there's a chance he's a thorn in the side the entirety of the rest of this regular season. But I do believe Hendy will have these games where he rips off a 55-yard touchdown, a 60-yard touchdown. I would give him at least 2 house calls in the next, 4 weeks. The problem is, are you going to sit him? And he's going to do that on your bench. And what other options do you have? Do you have Manungai versus Hendy? Well, that's a dilemma. And we'll have to break that down. And I'm not saying I have an answer now. I'll probably waiver on it. But, we got to think about things from a very short in a narrowed in window of time right now. Weeks 14, 15, 16, and 17. That's 4 weeks of football that we have right now, with a bye week for 4 teams in this next upcoming week 14. So really, bye week, regular season for fantasy ends, and then we have 1, 2, 3 playoff weeks. So we have to make decisions that are very, very focalized on those 4 games in that 4-game window. And sometimes we'll have to sit somebody we don't want to sit. Sometimes we'll have to take a gamble and start Hendy in another game when you have somebody else that's got questions as well. An example would be Quentin Johnston. Touchdown last week. You're thinking, well, maybe I sit Hendy now. I'm not sitting Hendy for that type of player. Monunga is another story. Do you sit a Judkins for Hendy or Hendy for Judkins? That's another story. That is a debate and a dilemma where you might have to make a tough call on sitting Hendy. But no, we're not sitting Hendy for other players that might have scored a touchdown or look pretty decent right now, or say Slayton scored. Should I start Slayton over Hendy? No, none of those things are going to be on my mind, and I'll be shutting down any of those questions personally when I see them. But you can make your own decisions, of course. Apocalypse, appreciate your super chat in the building. 165 to 78, got the W. I'm in. Smitty to the moon. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you.
You've just been...
And congratulations. Yeah, and Hendy is on a bye. I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast. Hendy on a bye. Next week we have 4 teams on a bye. Here is the schedule for week number 14. The teams on a bye this coming week. It was just a hypothetical example, my boy. So don't take it too literally. Thank you, Apocalypse. Welcome. Appreciate you. As far as hypothetically, like I'm saying, Hendy, those tough calls. Hendy's on a bye. May's on a bye. Jackson Dart's on a bye. Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, all those boys are on a bye. Dowdle and Chuba and Tet McMillan on a bye. Bryce Young on a bye. You're going to have to find your help elsewhere if you've got Panthers, Patriots, Niners, and Giants, Giant players. So is BTJ droppable? It's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think anybody does, to be honest. I mean, somebody that says they know the answer to that, it's like saying, oh, I know the answer to, what dark matter is. Do you? Are you just saying you know that? Long-time fan, love the show. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Appreciate your super chat and your support, my boy. Thank you very much. The show's a long-time fan of you. Yeah, I'm not sitting Hendy. I'm not sitting Egbuka. There are some teams where you could, I guess, but we'll take those case by case. I know you think you might have one. Show it to me. And, give me the dilemma. Smitty, I got one for you. Hendy or who? Like Hendy Egbuka would be a struggle. I'd probably say Buka. I'd probably say Buka. I don't want to say Buka. I'd probably tell you both. I'd say shame on you. Evans should be coming back soon. Yeah, as I've shown you before, screenshot this, my boy, and this will help you. Evans is sitting there in the 3rd spot with an arrow up to the 1 spot if he was to come back. Singletary slotting in somewhere in the in between 1 and 2. Monunga is the top ad. That would be the waiver board. Take a little screenshot. I'll leave that up for 2 more seconds so you can screenshot it. 1 and a 2. We do believe we're probably going to see Evans very soon, which will probably help out Buka because defenses will now they'll stop bracketing and double teaming and triple teaming Emeka Egbuka, which they got to do right now. He's the only player that can burn the team on a deep route, a crossing route, a short route, every route known to man, because this guy runs every route you can think of. Anybody that thinks Buka is a bad player or is done that's a box score Bobby. That's a lazy take. That's a real lazy take because he's an unbelievable talent. Someone dropped JD5. I think he's got a game or 2 in him. I have Knicks. I'd definitely pick up JD5, I suppose, but it would depend on the drop. Of course I would take him, but every league's a little different, so it's hard to really say. Rashee Rice have a good game against Houston. I don't see why he wouldn't. He's such a diverse and problem type player for any opposing defense. I had Henderson and played against Singletary, and I got trapped. Lost. I'm sorry, my boy. Sometimes losing the bye week is not a big deal. You got to look at seeding as a blessing in disguise, and that it's just it is what it is. Because if you start looking at seeding too carefully and you say, "I wanted the bye," why did you want the bye? Sometimes your best week is during that bye week, and you don't get to enjoy watching your team clobber somebody. Not to mention, maybe the seeding is perfectly designed to be a blessing in disguise for you, and you look at the points and you said, "I would have lost if I was the 1 seed." Holy crap! That the worst team in the league who's playing the 1 seed or the 3 seed or whatever exploded. Or later on you look at it and it's bad for you. So I wouldn't worry about seeding as long as you're in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. In the playoffs is all that matters. That's all that matters. Hampton coming back next week. We think so. We have no for sure indication on that, but because he almost came back this week, you think that this week's probably like a 70%, 80% chance, but we don't know what's really going on under the hood, bro. I dropped Addison for McLaurin last week. Good move to me. Hendy to the moon. Don't let the doubt slip in. Picked up Hendy off waivers for 3% fab on the last dip. That's great. I say there's always an explosion of rookies, usually rookie running backs, sometimes receivers, sometimes it's not a rookie, sometimes it's a second-year player that's kind of getting into the mix. But there's always that explosion at the end of the season. It could be Hendy that explodes. Could be Harvey, could be Hendy, could be both of them, could be Manungai, could be Tootin. I think it probably will, very high likelihood, come from one of those running backs, Tootin, Manungai, Hendy, Harvey, where there's such an explosion at the very tail end of the season, usually 15, 16, 17, that it leaves you perplexed walking into the next season and the offseason going, what do we make of that explosion? Is it a 2-game outlier, or are they on the verge of doing that and carrying that momentum into the next season? I do think we're going to get something like that. Singletary is an ad. I mean, Philip, I just showed the waiver wire board. Make sure you're screenshotting this. It's right there in front of your face. Singletary right there about between Manungai and Chuba. And, of course, Mike Evans is third on the wide receiver list. Moves to 1 or 2 depending on the prognosis and what's going on with that. So screenshot that. Taking it off screen again in 5 seconds here. So make sure you screenshot it. This is the waiver board. So learn about it. If you're showing up late, okay. And this right here kind of is my order. I could put Evans here for sure. I could put Singletary instead of Tootin. I could put Singletary. Let me go find Singletary right now. I think I've got a graphic for him. Maybe I don't. I might not even have a graph. How disrespectful. I might have to make it. Do I have one? I don't think I do. So we're just going to leave it. I thought I did. Didn't I? Don't I have a Singletary graphic? Let me search for it. Let me do a search. I might just have it in a different folder. It might be in my subfolder. It might be in the reserves. Singletary. I don't think I have a graphic for him. I have this. Yeah, I do have a graphic. This is old school. I loved Singletary as a rookie. So we'll put Singletary. This is old. This is like rookie year Singletary. We'll put Singletary in between these guys. He feels like he could definitely be one of the better pickups of the week right now. And we'll have more on Tracy too, but that's why there's no way in hell I'm putting anybody above Manungai. Manungai is a league mother-freaking winner. Hendy to the moon. Yes, sir, Coach. Appreciate you. Hendy is going to be back in space soon. I think he's only regulated to the space station. He hasn't left, outer space, technically. Smitty, I'm angry. Vrabel cost me, lost by 2.5 points. I'm sorry, D. I'm sorry. It's frustrating to watch. It's so frustrating to watch. All right, let me see if I've got one more super chat. I need to go over. Rockout says, what do you make of the Bucs receiving core right now? I mean, exactly what I just said, Rockout. I think that it gets better. I think Evans comes in and isn't going to dominate like he used to, but he'll be very effective in spots. He can get you that tough 40 or 50 or 60, maybe 4 catches for 70 yards, but 40, 50, 60, 70 yards, and a good touchdown, a very important touchdown, and be that very, very effective in spots, in crucial situations player for Baker. And I think it makes Baker get back on track, which will make the entire receiving room back on track. And Bucky being there is getting everything back on track. And at the end of the day, Buka will actually explode through that rookie wall. So that's what I'd probably say happens here. Dial into the show, guys.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yeah, and KJB is correct. When people want to blame, Hendy specifically, it's not his fault. Sorry to the guys who lost, but Hendy can't be the only reason you lost. Yeah, there's a lot of decisions that go into it. Like you picked the kicker, a D you picked. There's a lot of different things that could have got you 2, 3, 4 points. But I know it sucks to watch it come down on a Monday night and say, oh, there it is. Guys, we are live on Rumble as well. If I could get some of you to make sure you go over and like the video, subscribe as well. I might even cut the YouTube stream off the last 5-10 minutes and go straight over to Rumble and end the show over there just to get a few of you over there. I just dropped the link in the live chat. I'm going to pin the link in the live chat right now. There it is. Please subscribe or follow on Rumble. We're over 700 followers over there already, and we're doing great things. And Rumble is eventually going to be its own standalone show over there that has nothing to do with taking away from this channel's content. I'm not doing less shows over here or anything like that. I'm just merely adding to the arsenal. It's kind of like when someone says, don't go there. Why are you going over there? Oh, Smitty must have got a check. No, this is like me deciding to multi-stream to Twitter. Some people stream to Twitter and to YouTube. That's essentially what I'm doing right now over on Rumble. You can go check it out. But I will be creating standalone, hopefully one video a day for at least Monday through Friday. But I'm going to try more. That is Rumble exclusive, so you can't watch it or get it on YouTube or anywhere else. It'll be only on Rumble. It'll be called a Rumble only show, and that is because I want to dominate Rumble as well. And I think we're going to do it. And whether it's a news show, a phone call show, or a Dynasty channel, all by itself. Mute yourself, my boy. We can hear you going, Mute yourself, bro. All right, we're going to have, whether it's Dynasty, whether we're going to have a phone call show, where we're going to do a news show, or I don't know, something else. But I am multi-streaming over there right now on the Rumble side of the fence. Let me see who's over in the Rumble chat right now. Travis is in the Rumble chat saying double streaming. Anybody wants to cross streams, double stream at the same time, 2 strong streams at the same time. Travis is doing it. Be like Travis. He's got it. We need to get this number. I just looked over 4, 5, 10 people on Rumble stream. Please open up another window and stream Rumble. Let's get Rumble and take it to the moon. We're at 704 followers on Rumble. Pretty damn good in a short amount of time with one dedicated Rumble show. Who is that moaning? Who is that? Like I said, mute, bro. No soup for you. What was I saying? Albert, thank you for the super chat. I don't know what in the hell conversion this is. Does anybody know what COP is besides the disease you get when you're older and you can't breathe? COPD, 19,000 COPs. That sounds like I either can retire or I'm going to be extremely disappointed. But
the Colombian peso.
And Albert, don't feel bad. I'm just joking with you, bro. I'm either retiring early.
$3 holler.
Attaboy, Albert. Albert, I still appreciate every single one. I smell meatloaf. I remember the first time I got in Mexican pesos, I got a $500 Mexican pesos, which is conversion to what? Is that like $4? What is it? 500? I think it's like whatever it is. I remember I was like, oh my God, Steven, Steven, thank you. The $500 holler. It says MX next to it. I'm like, what? We're doing it live. We're doing the conversions are hilarious. Albert, appreciate you dropping that.
That'd be a $20.
Oh, would that be 500? Okay. Yeah, I think we thought it was something huge, and we're like, bro. Thank you, Albert. You didn't attach anything to your message. Make sure you attach it next time. Hendy floating in zero G's, departing for the moon soon, says Coach. Coach has faith in Hendy. I have faith in Hendy. Garcia left the call. He said this is enough. I'm not holding anymore. But thank you for holding on mute before you hung up, Garcia. Smitty 10-3, just clinched first seed. Congrats, my boy. Hendy floating in 0G. Appreciate you again for that message. Albert dropping another super chat, another $11,900 holler, doing it live.
Mashed potatoes.
Just want to say this will be my last stream, everybody. I'm retiring. Thanks to Albert's $11,000 Super Bowl. See you all later. That's like, I remember when I remember one time there was a guy when I was young, like before I did any sort of this is when I think it was fresh out of college. It was the first job I had. I didn't YouTube at all. I didn't even have fantasy content yet. It's the first job I had. And let me just merge Ricky in here. Ricky, just mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you. And I'll never forget this guy goes, come here. It was a computer like tech job. And I walk over to his cubicle and he goes, look at this. It's a penny stock. And I was like, oh yeah, sweet, bro. And he's like, I got $500 in this or whatever. I'm like, okay. Then one day he walks over and he goes, bro, come here. And I walk over to his cubicle. We hated these jobs. I absolutely hated it. I was never a company man anyway. And I walk over to his desk. We both just want to get out of there. We hate this place. And I'm looking at his cubicle and he goes, look at this. And he shows me his computer, square computer screen. This was so long ago. He goes, look at the stock now. And I was like, that penny stock? And I look at it and it closed at $1. He's like, I'm quitting. I'm out of here. He walks down, gives everybody high fives, walks out, and he's like, deuce. And he walks out. The next day, he comes walking back in with his head down, and we're like, and we watch him, and I walk over to his cubicle. I go, bro, what happened? He's like, Yahoo made an error. It closed at a penny again. They put $1. He thought he was out of there, bro. That was hilarious. Is Kareem Hunt GOAT? I don't think so, Albert. I don't think he's the GOAT. After all this is what we're asking. No, he's not the GOAT, Albert, but you are the GOAT, young man. I smell meatloaf. Okay, Albert, thank you. I think he's worth having, and he's worth a flex play, but he's a dangerous flex play. He's a high-risk, high-reward play. Just like me making a determination off a number that I'm going to pack it in. It's about that high risk without having a translation going on. A conversion, so to speak. Albert, I appreciate your super chats. I'm joking about not knowing the conversions because I don't know all of them, and so I totally appreciate every single bit that anybody drops. I don't want to sound I'm ungrateful at all. I'm just laughing at myself by not knowing what I'm looking at when I first started streaming. Thank you, Albert. Appreciate you. Hold on, callers. I'm almost done with these. Have JMO, JSN, Pittman, Bijan, Bucky, Javante. Joe, that's fantastic. Harvey for London. I think this is a tough call. I mean, because you got Bijan and Bucky and Javante, I think you could take a gamble on London. And honestly, I'm not saying I know what's going to happen with London, but the news being that he's day-to-day now, and I got London on the graphic, we haven't even talked about it yet. But we talked about in the earlier show. London is trending toward maybe playing. His coach said he's going to potentially play week 14. He's now day-to-day instead of week-to-week, which means that week 14 is in play. If he was week-to-week, it would most likely mean that week 15 was more likely in play. So I think I'd take the gamble on this with your situation because you probably waiver between Javante and Harvey anyway. So why not just take the wide receiver, over Pittman? That's what I would say. I like the trade, though, and I hate trading my boy. I love Harvey, but that's a good move. Solo tackled Kareem Hunt in high school. Dude was a horse, says Coach. Coach, damn, bro. Solo tackled Kareem Hunt. All right, Travis, you're live.
Yeah, so on Hendy, as a Patriots fan, I agree with you. I understand why they have Ramondre in there at times, but they need to manufacture better carries, if not more. Like, there's no reason they can't get him 5 or 6 more touches a game. You get that not near 20 touches, like you were talking about. I get Ramondre still recognizes certain blitzes better, all that stuff, but there's a role for him. But you need, electricity. And
Yeah, and every time Hendy has gotten the 15, 14, 18 touches, the offense has exploded. And so it comes down to that. If anybody wants to say anything ridiculous, like, oh, but Hendy's working, I might as well do it. It's working, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work better. And if you get deeper into look, the biggest knock on the Patriots, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but the biggest knock on the Patriots is they haven't played a lot of fierce competition over and over consecutively, consistently. And so when things get tougher and rougher and you're in a playoff game and you're handing it to a ball carrier that has a higher likelihood to fumble than any running back in the National Football League, and on top of that, you're not getting the most bang for the buck on the carry, then you're going to be put in a little bit different spot, and it's not going to be as easy. Right now, watching Ramondre run 30 yards untouched on a reception, that's not going to happen in a playoff game, or not as likely. And so you need a guy out there that can still make that 30-yard play with contested, environments. And Hendy caught that with 2 or 3 guys around him. He still probably would have got that 30 yards. That's the point. And like you said, there's still a role for Stevenson. But it's a math game. If it takes this number of carries to break 10+ yards, you can't give somebody 3 carries and expect to get that one of those 10-yard runs. And so you have to give volume to Hendy. You spend a second rounder, and you either shit or get off the pot. If you aren't gonna drop the deuce, then why didn't you draft mother freaking offensive linemen, additional ones, to protect the guy you see, that you believed in? He truly is the quarterback of the future. Why? And so that's the part that's so frustrating. You can have a place for both of them. Stevenson's not some scrub. He's a pretty good damn running back. But he is nothing close to Hendy's capability, like you said, electricity. And every time you look at Stevenson, before the 2 breakout games for Hendy, when Stevenson got hurt, Stevenson and the offense was good. It was good. With Hendy, it was great. When Hendy's getting 15 carries, and you could say tonight they were great too, but guess what? This was the Giants. And guess what? You also had a defensive, or a special teams touchdown. And guess what? You also had 3 points the entire second half. So if anybody wants to say, well, look at the score is that way because of the special teams play and a lot of stuff that happened early on. The Patriots shouldn't walk out of the third quarter with 0 points and walk out of the fourth quarter with 3 points. Like, that's inexcusable. That is not going to fly in the playoffs. And you got to figure out how to use your weapons so that you can step up and level up once you get there, because right now everything's really smooth. Everything looks really good, but it's going to get a lot tougher, and you need every single inch you can get.
Yeah, and 2 big things I'll say. I'll let you get to other callers. One is, I get, Hendy, he's electric, he can be instant offense, but all running backs, to get their true talent, a lot of them need to build momentum. And, where they're running Hendy for 2 plays and yanking them off the field, or running them for one drive and yanking them off the field. It's like, give him, 2 or 3 straight drives. It's rare that he gets that.
Yeah.
So much mixing and matching.
I know.
And the one other thing I was going to say quick was,
thanks, Coach.
Just like you were just saying with Hendy, it's along the same lines of, like you said, it's going to catch up to him, and Ramondre's going to fumble or something like that. It's the same idea as when I talk about these teams refusing to run inside the 5-yard line. They're on the 2-yard line. They pass 3 times and kick a field goal. Yeah. And it's like, those things come back to haunt you in the playoffs against those tough teams.
And I hate saying what I said out loud, but it's I'm a human being. I'm a flawed man. And everybody out there is a sinful person. And I'm just admitting my sin. My sin is that I want Ramondre Stevenson to fumble the Patriots season away in the playoffs. And I'm not afraid to admit it. If that makes me a bad person, so be it. If I wanted Ramondre's toe issue to last a little longer and that makes me a bad person, so be it. I'm sorry. This is who I am. Accept me for who I am. No one has to watch. I'm not asking for someone to go out there and get, injured or in their life in danger or anything like that, or wishing ill will upon Stevenson. But do I want Stevenson's toe to feel a little tingle tonight? Yes, I do. Am I a bad person?
Well,
Maybe.
it's the same idea. I won by 1 point in the matchup tonight, and Tracy was the only guy going against me. When he went down, I wasn't happy he was hurt, but I was like relieved, like, okay, I got the win in the bag. Like we all have those feelings. We don't want guys to get hurt. We don't, wish ill will on people, but it's natural to think that way.
He's a little. I'll be sleeping. Miss Smitty's gonna be in the. I'll be sleeping in tomorrow a little bit. Hopefully there's no news. And Miss Smitty's gonna go. Hey Smitty, Ramondre's toe. Something about his what? I'm gonna wake up. It's Christmas early. Oh my God, I'm such a bad man. Ricky, you're live. Thank you, Coach, for this Rumble chat over here on Rumble. By the way, some of you have opened up the stream on Rumble. We got 14 streamers on Rumble right now. Please open up the Rumble stream. The stream link has been pinned in the live chat. There it is again. Ricky, you're live.
Yo, Smitty, what's up?
What's up?
So moving forward, Smitty, who do you rather have for the playoffs? Mount Monangai, Genty, Barkley, or Hendy?
Monangai, Barkley, Genty, and Hendy. I hate to say it.
How do you?
I hate to say it though, but I don't know. Like if this is me making a call for the entirety of the playoffs, I can't trust Genty. I just can't. Like I want to, but I can't. I'm not saying he isn't good and anybody should bench him, but we're talking about this question here. I can't trust. You really can't trust any of them, to be honest. Even though we want to trust Monangai, you can't fully trust him. You're going on some sort of whim here. But I think Monangai has the most security as of this moment anyway. Could change on Sunday. Barkley, you can't trust, about the same level of distrust as Genty. And Hendy, unfortunately, I'm going to put a little dotted line through him because he's still out there. He's still producing. He's 6 yards per carry. So I would say I'm trusting Monangai the most. I'm trusting Hendy the second most. And it is what it is. And we have to look at this every single week because it's a ever-evolving game of
situation.
Yeah, the situation changing.
I think the schedule, Monangai in the playoffs has Cleveland, Green Bay, San Fran, where Hendy the rest of the year after the bye is just greenlit. Buffalo, Baltimore, the Jets.
That is true.
So,
something
to think about.
Yeah, let me rephrase that.
And coming out of a bye,
yeah, Travis
Daniels generally gives guys more carries, more touches. Maybe it won't happen with Hendy.
Travis is right. I think this is a Monangai is safest. Hendy's high risk, high reward. And so I think I need to put that in this question because it is ever flowing and ever evolving. And so this will probably, this logic is not always the best, that logic isn't always at play. Logic tells us that a week or two from now, we will be saying Hendy's name, looking back at this conversation and going, remember when we thought Monangai was going to get all this work and they just dialed him back again? That could easily happen. But right now, the volume seems to be there, and the Bears' success it's again enabling the usage of the RBs. I think Monangai right now is locked in to a good amount of work.
And he kills the clock. He's the clock killer for that team too.
So
they'll grind him out.
So this is the safe answer for sure, Monangai. But the high risk, higher reward, is definitely Hendy. And so I can't really answer this question right now.
Okay. And just
you're talking playoffs. You're talking next week. Hendy's on a bye, so the answer is Monangai. But I think, unfair, and I don't mind answering it this way, but an unfair question to ask right now for me to lock in. So right now I'm going to say high risk, high reward Hendy, safe play Monangai. Final answer.
Fair enough. And attached to that question, on a surplus environment that I have 3 of these guys that just don't have Hendy, what would you offer Barkley and Genty to get you Hendy?
To trade,
No?
so you
that
don't,
with
uh,
the surplus environment and
I don't
Bijan's Dard.
I don't know that you can. I mean, you're handing somebody probably too much talent, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the fair market value commands that. I know you're in surplus mode, but Hendy's game today should get you Hendy cheaper. I don't think anybody's walking out of today valuing Hendy more. I think they might. There are people like me, like Travis, like a lot of the people watching right now, who probably question whether they're doing it out of habit or loyalty, and they're wondering if there's bias involved. Like, should I let go of Hendy? Am I wrong on this? Am I wrong to keep believing? There are people that are thinking that right now, watching, and I don't blame them. You know, everybody has that, feeling once in a while. But I think the majority of people outside of this community, they have a lot more doubt about Hendy tonight coming out of this game than we do. So I think you giving up that is you going and doing a laughable trade where your league mates are going to point their finger at you. Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot for giving this guy 2 running backs. So I don't think you can do that trade out of principle.
And out of Barkley or Genty, you'd rather give up Genty, I assume, or no?
I mean, Barkley's dealing with...
I was just going to ask you.
Is
it fair to like Genty more than Barkley? I was actually just going to ask you that.
I think I like Genty more because I believe, like we predicted, the output didn't match what the volume set up for. But the output for Bowers was there. Bowers had 2 touchdowns. We said Bowers would explode coming out of the OC change and the play calling change. Absolutely happened. There's no way this offensive coordinator was going to say, I'm going to just do what the last guy did. He was going to feed his 2 monsters, and he did. And Genty got work. Problem is, Genty has no offensive. They fold every time.
Yeah, and
so I think
if you look at their schedules too, man, it goes Denver, Philly, Houston, and the Giants, which is good. The last for Genty, and Chargers, LV, Washington, Buffalo. Man.
Yeah.
Easy.
I'd probably say Barkley's the safer call right now. We revisit Genty for 2026, unfortunately.
Fair.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
You go either way, bro.
I struggle with that one.
This is one of those things where, like I said, you got to look at the 4-week window now. Fantasy football weeks 1 through 13, none of that matters anymore. Right now, you got 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Monungai's just positioned well. He is a crafty. Yeah. This is the kind of move that the guy that wins your league 4 times out of 5, every 5 years, he wins 4 of them. And he's usually that guy that doesn't even draft a quarterback. He's always rotating. Very good at making these impartial decisions. This is what that guy would do. This is what you want to be, that guy. That guy is going to say, right now at least, this could change in 1 week. Understand that. But right now, that guy is saying Monungai's my starter. And you're watching him start Monungai, and you're like, son of a bitch, every week. Monungai's pulling it. You're sitting here starting a Barkley, and he's doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's how you win leagues.
Yeah.
Barkley Genty's a tough one, though.
Well, I think the schedule does make Barkley the default decision over Genty.
Schedule is very good.
But getting 10 carries in a good schedule doesn't mean shit, But could he still rip off a big run, have a touchdown, have 14 carries in one of the 2 games that he has a great schedule back to back? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and say Barkley for sure over Genty because Genty's offensive line is dog water. But guess who's going to do well? Bowers. He'll do well.
Yeah.
All right, Ricky, got to go, bro. Later.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
It's tough, bro. Owen with a $20 haul. We got a couple of super chats. Hang tight, Travis. Let me hit this real quick. So the $20 super chat gets immediate attention. Thank you, Coach. Coach, thank you for dropping the Rumble rant as well. We got 16 people on Rumble right now. I appreciate you guys multi-streaming right now, crossing streams, or just letting 2 big streams go at the same time. That's appreciated. Owen, $20 hauler. Thank you, pal.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Owen says, what is Owen saying here? Owen says 12-man PPR 2 flex tight end premium, I have Mahomes, Bucky, Henry, Rice, Pickens, Warren, Hendy, Singletary, Fannin, Worthy. I held everyone and just clinched playoffs at 7-5-1. I like my odds to win now. I do too, bro. It's coming together. I mean, Bucky back. I mean, clinching the playoffs with Bucky. You know, Mahomes is going through a little slump too in this time frame too. Bucky wasn't there. Mahomes is in a slump. Rice was connected to him. Pickens had fallen off for a little bit before bouncing back again. Like, you went through it, bro. You went through it. Hendy's been on and off, and he's been helping you. This is a great team. I like your squad a lot. I think you're gonna have a lot of clarity walking into week 1 too. Now that you're clinched, you don't have to worry too much about how week 14 looks, how it shakes out. I think you'll have a lot of clarity for your lineup choices walking into week 15. So, Owen, congratulations. Thank you again for the super chat. And relax a little bit now that you've clinched a spot. Really nice to walk into this week not worrying about that, just worrying about seeding, which, again, seeding can be a blessing in disguise. Flex 2 for the playoffs, Monangai, Dowdle, and Chuba. I mean, I'm going Monangai for sure. And as for the running backs, oh, my God. Like, Chuba looked good. And as Travis said the other night, Chuba's healthy finally, and he wasn't for a while, which is why he looked so bad. And now he's healthy, he looks good. But I still think Dowdle is not somebody you should just like brush aside and go, oh, Dowdle's not as good. Hard to say. I think that game script and game flow is going to make it really, really tough.
I think Dowdle also has the better chance for the huge games,
I think I go Dowdle, but give me the week to make this decision, or the week and a half or whatever, because the Panthers are on a bye, and so we're gonna wait this out a whole week. But let's make this call later, because I think making it now, we don't have information. The coach might say something. We might get some clarity on it. So right now I'm leaning Dowdle, but not locked in. But for sure Monangai locked in. For right now, anyway. I mean, anything could change. Make sure you come. Like, what if Monangai is nothing next week? So, let's see. So we got the schedule up. Who's Monangai play next week? Anyway, it's Chicago at Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay. So that could put like you in a position where you're questioning Monangai having a bad. Now he could do well against Green Bay. I mean, Dowdle did. Dowdle had 2 touchdowns and 120 plus yards rushing against Green Bay. But let's say Monangai and the entire Chicago Bear rushing attack struggles a little bit. We might have questions walking in, and we shouldn't, but we might. We might be like, oh, well, what's this mean? Well, it's Green Bay. Could mean nothing. Could mean a lot. I have 3 teams. 3 teams in first with 1.7K. Plus the puppy, 4 and 2 in the Chihuahua. Thanks to you, Smitty. My first time doing these. What happens after week 14? So after week 14, depends on the tournament, but it usually like narrows down to like the top 2, depending on the contest you're doing. Advance into the playoffs, and then they put you in another group, and then I think the next 2 are depending on the contest. The next 1 advance, etc. Now, in the case of the Eliminator, which is kind of quickly became my favorite contest to draft in at the end of the year there, and I think I might do more of them this year. But the Eliminator, you go into a pool where I believe 6 get eliminated and 6 advance in the first week. And then I believe this is correct. Anybody knows, correct me if I'm wrong. Then each additional weeks 2 through 17, it's 1v1. 2 through 16. So you're just facing one person each week. And then all the way down to week 17. And then in week 17, the final week, there's only 3 teams left. So everybody's in groups of 12. And the one that you drafted in. 6 advance week 1. Then it's one person versus one person. Half the field gets eliminated each week. 1v1. 1v1 all the way to week 16. Then in week 17, there's 3 individuals left. So every contest is different, But week 14, you should have pretty much, more than 80% of the field completely gone. And then it's going to be fun to narrow down. But congrats on that. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Wow, what a day. And I had a couple teams in the weeklies that were crushing it, and then it just needed a couple things that didn't happen. I had another team in the Battle Royale. It's like, damn it, man. If I just would have drafted like one player different, like I was debating between two players, and the player that I didn't draft went off. I forget who it was. I'm going to pull it up right here. But that sucked to watch. I really would have had a monster finish with one of these teams. So I can't wait to do. I'm going to do a lot of Week 14 Battle Royale drafting this weekend or this week on the Graveyard Shift. We're gonna enter a lot of them this week. It's the final week before Week 15. So, Travis, anything else?
Yes. Someone was asking about Tesla this week. What do you view him as? Like a deep flex? I mean, he should get, I would think, 5 or 6 targets, right?
I think this week he's usually getting 1 or 2.
Got a note for the end zone.
But I think he's going to get the 4 or 5 targets this week. And he's such a amazing converting player. You give him 2 targets, he's catching 2 of them. So I like him a lot. I think he's a really sneaky flex, and that's why we got him on the waiver board this week. If anybody hasn't checked out the waiver board. Now, the order of some of these guys, you can move them around. Tesla is right in the middle there. We got Jennings, Higgins, Godwin, Coker, Vele, Wicks, Reed, Pat Bryant. Some of this I got to rewrite it a little bit more clear. I'll rewrite it tonight or tomorrow more clearly. Singletary squeezing into that 2 or 3 running back territory. Monunga is my clear-cut number 1 overall player. Watson, Pierce, Evans. Evans could climb to the very top. Evans has a chance to be league winning. I don't think there's a lot of league winning receivers left at all. 0.
Yeah.
But Monunga, Chuba, Tootin, Singletary, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Monunga, Chuba, and Tootin, and Corum if an injury struck. And Vidal if, let's say, Hampton had a setback. Benson if he climbs back up and gains the starting job. They're all running backs. Those are all league-winning potential players that could, in a flex spot, win a league. But Tesla is he's right in the middle of the board. He's a fantastic player that you could easily climb to the very top if you wanted. I'd be okay with you putting him at the top spot at the wide receiver position, but he's not league winning, especially with the Monroe coming back. But he's a very good, week 14, 15 player.
Would you pick up Monunga and drop Waddle if you were deep at wide receiver?
Let me put it this way. The answer is I'm not telling someone to drop Waddle, but every league's different. But I would rather have Monunga than Waddle, yes.
All right, so Waddle's, yeah. So I have JSN, Bryce, Buka, and JMO ahead of Waddle right
now. Yeah. I don't want to drop Waddle. I don't. I can't.
No, I get what you're saying.
But Monunga, I rank higher than him, so you got to read between the lines for that. I just can't have that clipped. Drop Waddle.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Just kidding.
Yep.
Do it.
I saw a thing, just kind of interesting. Going into this Monday night game, I don't know exactly how this would affect it, but going into the game this week was on track for the lowest scoring fantasy week of the year.
Yeah.
And 4 out of the last 6 weeks have been the 4 lowest weeks of the year.
Yeah, I think
scoring's been way down.
It's important to remember everybody's in their own bubble going, why me? And you see it on the Patreon a lot. Right. Some of the negative repeat offenders on the Patreon that are like, this sucks, that sucks, this sucks. Like, if you stop looking at yourself and your team and you look around, everybody's crawling. There's a lot of 98 point scoring teams this week, 112, 105. There's a couple 140s and 180s, depending on your scoring and your, number of lineups. But Yeah. So.
Yeah, what did I have? I had I won in the league with 99. I won in the league with 82. I had two 150s.
Yeah, there's
was
definitely going to be some big scores, but yeah, there's a lot of down scoring for sure. You can't hype videos on PC. Well, you can't hype live streams, Sebastian. But once this live stream is over, I do ask that you all try and hype this video. Once it ends, you won't be able to hype it until now. But on YouTube, you can now hype videos. It helps the channel greatly. And if a video goes above and beyond what it normally goes, you can say, I had something to do with that. So if you hype any video, you get 3 hypes, I think, a week. Right, Travis? 3 hypes a week.
Yep.
And where do you find the hype? It's in the comments if you swipe over, and then there's like hype the video.
Yeah, so like if you're looking at your screen right now, like if you're on like an iPad, or I guess anywhere where it says like live chat or comments, and you can toggle left or right, it'll be in that little box there.
And after the stream is over,
it usually shows up first. I don't know how long it takes. It's not immediately after, but I would guess within the hour, I would think it would pop up.
Silver says you have to have 500 subs to be able to hype a video. I don't think so, Silver. I don't, because Travis doesn't have any videos.
No, I hype videos
Hypes all the
time.
Travis, I don't think, or Silver, I don't think so.
It might be you have to have 500 subs yourself to get hype.
Yeah, that might be what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
I think you also have to be under like you can't have like I think 1 million subscribers. They're offering this only for smaller channels. So apparently we're small. So hype the show if you guys can. If you can't hype this one right now, test it on another live stream that we did, like the earlier live stream. But I do ask that you guys try and hype the videos when you can, especially when the live stream ends. I think the live chat has to go away too. And you have to like close out and go back in once the live stream is over. And the comments are available instead of the live stream. And then you swipe over from the comment. Hi, Smitty. Would you drop Hunt or Sharps for Chuba? I would drop Hunt for Chuba. I would. But it could backfire. I mean, Hunt's pretty decent. I mean, they're kind of the same. But I think Chuba's got a little more upside. We've seen him deliver massive points before, whereas I don't think Hunt's in store for that the remainder of the year. He's just a very solid play. Sharps, I would not cut. Sharps is continuing to do well. They keep feeding him touchdowns.
Yeah, and even like, I forget, he didn't have a huge snap count this week, but he still had 14 carries, And so anytime someone's getting 11, 12 carries and getting the goal line work, that's definitely not somebody you want to drop.
Hey, Kruger.
39%.
Right here, I'm ready to roll.
How many? Is there a sub requirement for a person to hype a video on YouTube, or can anyone hype a video on YouTube?
Pretty much anyone can hype a video on YouTube. There's no subscriber requirement to do that. You can share it, post about it, hype out to your community, whether you've got 0 subs or 1 million. So go ahead and get hyping.
Thanks, Kruger. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. You make me feel like a spaceman, Smitty. Always here to help.
Thanks, Krug. All right. Let's see here. I think we're Silver, maybe try it again. No hype section on mine, but in the live stream you won't have it. You gotta the show's gotta end, or go to a video that's already been live. Go to the comments, swipe, you'll see hype there. But you can't do it on live streams while they're live. Only when the live stream turns into just a regular video up there on my channel. All right. Fat Boy says he never shares his channel with anybody. Sorry. You're not sharing with your friends. You're hyping it. It's like a coin, a token, bro. Fat Boy, so you're not giving the show any sort of help at all. Like it doesn't like call your grandma on the phone on an auto robocall and say, "Hey, grandma, guess what he's watching?" It's you just saying, "Let me use one of my 3 hypes for this channel," and then it helps the channel. And what helps the channel helps you, because the bigger I get, the more giveaways I have, the more all kinds of stuff. I mean, we're giving away gunners, We're giving away gunners. We're giving away hoodies. We're giving away all kinds. Imagine how many helmets and autographed jerseys once we get bigger and bigger and bigger. So show up, fat boy. Don't hold back on us because you don't want the channel to grow. That ain't you want the channel to close, and then what do you have? So, fat boy, are you going to hype it, or are you still going to hold it close to the vest and not help out by hyping it to random strangers? All right. Anything else, Travis? Let me open the phone lines just one more time, and then you think of something. Hold on. Oops.
Live from the Fantasy
Call into
Football
the show.
Show.
Call into the show.
I always hit the wrong. I gotta move. I gotta move that button. I always hit the wrong button. Dial in, and we'll take your. I think I might have somebody on hold here. Hold on. No, they're gone. That hung up. Yeah, please, please. Did Fat Boy commit to hyping it, or is he just still committing to it? Not. A few pairs of my sis ordered a few pairs of gunners and used your code Smitty. I got some Spider-Man frames. I got the Spider-Man somewhere over here too. I don't have them. Yeah, these are pretty cool. They don't look great on me. my head doesn't fit every pair of glasses, but these are the Spider-Man frames. They come in this awesome Spidey case, and they have these awesome sides. And I just, I know we're all critical about what looks good on us, but I just don't think these look good on me. I don't like them at all. Hello, Professor Stevenson here to serve you. I just don't. They don't look good on me. But I wear these at night though, like when I'm watching TV. I just don't.
Yeah.
But the Spidey ones are good. Hold on one second, Travis. Let me merge this real quick. Hamilton, hold on one second, my boy. Put yourself on mute. I'll be right with you. These aren't bad though. These are actually, they don't look horrible. They don't look horrible on me, I guess. I don't know. They're not that bad. I should
look bad. No.
I have a few, like these ones look awful on me. These next ones make me look. These are Gunner. These are all Gunner. All Gunner blue light. These make me look like Junior Soprano. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh yeah. I like those.
What are the? Who designed these?
Corrado.
Who designed Corrado? Who designed these? These put on 10 years. 10 years of life. I look so
only guys named Corrado can wear those.
Hello? Hello? Junior. Call me Corrado.
Anyone would look like an old man with those on. Seriously.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I don't think Fat Boy ever said anything. He just said, "You're showing my secret weapon," and told everyone he's 11-2 in one league. So, he can flex, but he can't hype.
I turned into Junior. So they sent me these, and I'm like, all right. I opened them up, put them on. I was like, no thanks. But, not every pair fits everybody. Some people have a big head. These right here, I don't know if these look good on me either. What are these? Are these the Baron? These are the... What are these? These aren't that bad. I think it's only those ones that are really bad. They really don't fit me. What are these? These are, by the way, if anybody's wondering what we're talking about, these are Gunner.
The Gunner Player of the Week.
Brought to you by Gunner.com.
So go to Gunner.com. Use code Smitty for 15% off. These are the Baron. These aren't bad either, I guess. I think the only ones that look like trash on me are that one pair, but it's not their fault. I just have a weird head, but these aren't bad. The Baron aren't bad. They're a little big. They're a little big.
Not bad.
A little big.
Supposed to be big though. That's the luck.
Yeah, my favorite right now are. Let me put the clicks back. Those are the clicks regular. These are the clicks dark amber. These are probably my favorite. But I like the Spidey ones too. The Spidey ones. These are all blue light blocking, by the way. All right. Somebody called in. Damn it! I put him on hold for so long. 9:05. You're live. I apologize.
What's going on, Smitty? It's Sebastian.
What's up?
I don't really have a question. The only thing I need is to pick a defense for next week, but I'm so hyped I won this week, man.
Nice job. What D's do you have?
I have Miami for the Jets next week, so I'm not super worried, but there's not really any available for playoffs, and I don't know if I should pick someone up and hold him. Like, I was thinking of Dallas because they play Minnesota week 15, but...
Go with the Saints.
The Saints?
Yep.
The Saints are free?
They've
got an easy schedule. Done. Oh, my goodness.
In my league, they've had 3 straight double-digit point weeks, and they have a cake schedule.
Oh, okay. That's good. I appreciate that. That's good.
Who are they playing, Travis?
I'll let you guys go.
All right, later, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Thanks for the advice this week. We won. I'm so happy, guys. Thanks. Take care.
Later, bro.
Bye-bye.
No problem, Sebastian.
Saints.
The Saints. So they got Tampa this week, and then they have Carolina, the Jets, and Tennessee. They're the 9th worst, 8th worst, and first, like the worst defense. In their past 3 games, Miami in my league scoring, they had 12. Atlanta, they had 13.5. Carolina, they had 18 against already.
Yeah, I think this won't be a great week, in my opinion, 14. But yeah, for weeks 15, 16, 17. You never know. Baker could be.
And
Baker's getting all his boys back.
Right. And that's obviously if you don't have one of those, even the Rams, depending on their matchup, I might play, Seattle, all those teams.
Yeah.
They're over the same.
Carolina has been cooking. I feel you, A-Rod, but they're also, Bryce Young also, the legacy game gets used and thrown around too much. T-Law had a legacy game, remember that? And again, like we talked about last night, T-Law's had some pretty good fantasy games too lately. That's why he's on the waiver board, but it's still, I don't think Bryce Young's out of the woods of being somebody that you're like, damn it.
Yeah, and it's hard to know, but he had 1.5 points against them a few weeks ago. That can change, obviously, but they played him really well.
Yeah. All right, Travis, anything else?
Just last 2 real quick things
What, if you don't mind holding here real quickly, let me answer these super chats, and then we're going to end the show on YouTube and go over to Rumble. So here's the Rumble link.
Okay.
Everybody would click this link, join on Rumble, get over on Rumble, have it open and ready and playing in the background so that when we end the stream in about 2-3 minutes here on YouTube, you will be over on Rumble. Right now, just to verify, I only see 16 people on Rumble. So we have 520 YouTubers in here. If I could see everybody shift over to Rumble, that would be amazing. So everybody open up the Rumble link. Here it is one more time. It's pinned in the live chat. We're going to go to Rumble in about T-minus 2 minutes. So get that stream going. It'll be the same stream. It's just we're going to end it here. This fat boy dropping the $50 holler. Fat boy doing it live. He is there. He is there. He's there.
There he is.
Let's see what he says about these this hype stuff. This show has my teams 11-2, 8-5, both first place with multiple high weeks And inside prizes, Mahomes, Gibbs, Hendy, London, Pickens, Rice, Buka. Hopefully you get London back this week. Thank you for helping us help you. But Fat Boy, please use the hype. It's not hyping it to your buddies. It's hyping it to random people. It's like a token. Like saying, hey, what just to explain what hyping is, YouTube saying, hey, the more hypes we get about a video, and it's just you submitting it to YouTube, the more we know that the followers are so dedicated that we're getting 17, 18, 20, 100, 500 hypes from this video. It tells YouTube to push it. It's like a leaderboard, and whatever YouTubers can get the most people to hype their video, they'll move that video in front of everybody else's and show it to more random people. But it's not like you got to think about how that's going to help you, and the odds of it hurting you or finding the wrong person at the wrong, like you'll be fine, bro. Just hype it, do it live. Fat Boy, thank you for the $50 hauler. Dropped 160 and highest score. My best week, says Husseini. Husseini, I'm so proud of your team, bro. I'm so proud of the decisions we made too. I know Hendy wasn't the best call for you, but it wasn't like I think the alternative would have even scored that many more points. But we have our work cut out for us for week 14, week 15. Husseini, I'm sure we're going to hear from you. And Husseini, we'll see you on the Rumble channel. Guys, we're going to Rumble in 1 minute. So click this link. We'll be on Rumble. Thank you, Husseini. Appreciate you. And then 2306, appreciate you. Do you cover the London situation for week 14? You know what? Let's talk about that immediately on Rumble right now. 2306, we're going to Rumble right now. Essentially, in a nutshell, we did cover it. But it's that he's, got a good chance to play, and he's now week to week or day to day instead of week to week, meaning that we're just kind of waiting on pins and needles. Guys, we are going to Rumble in 42 seconds. Here's the link one more time. We're live there already. I see the chat blowing up on Rumble. We got 40 people sitting in there waiting. I've got 469 people on YouTube right now that have not yet gone over to Rumble. So go over there right now. Caps, you're saying thanks to Smitty and the mods. Don't say thanks to Smitty and the mods yet. That sounds like you're not going to Rumble. So click the link. See you all on Rumble. We're doing it live still over there. Rumble, will you see these doors closing on Rumble? We're not ending the show on Rumble. Rumble, stay right there. Stay right there, Rumblers. All right, guys, appreciate you on YouTube. I got to go in and pull up. I got to go in there and find it. Hold on. We're still here for a second. Hold on. Don't get excited, YouTubers. I'm hitting the end button right now. I'm going to hit it right now. Here's the end button. Deuce.